This chart tracks median launch prices for new prescription drugs in the US. Between 2004 and 2008, a drug launched at roughly $14,000. By 2023, that price reached $238,000. When patients and policymakers ask why these costs have escalated so quickly, the pharmaceutical industry relies on a specific defense. They argue that drug development is a high-risk, expensive gamble, and that these prices are the only way to fund their research and development labs. But a close look at the balance sheets of modern pharmaceutical giants suggests a different priority. The numbers show that for these corporations, the medicine itself has become secondary to the sophisticated financial strategies used to market it. To understand why a single vial of medicine can bankrupt a family, we have to look past the chemistry. We need to analyze the pharmaceutical industry as a sector driven by the same financial engineering found on Wall Street. Step 1 of the playbook relies on geographic market exploitation. Companies launch a medication and aggressively price it for the United States, while selling the exact same physical product for a fraction of that cost in the rest of the world. This chart compares Keytruda's annual cost. A year's supply costs $191,000 in the US, but just $89,000 in Germany. Adding a time trend line reveals a secondary tactic. Since 2015, the US cost has steadily climbed, while Germany's price actually fell. These vast geographic disparities prove a crucial point. The cost of an American prescription is detached from the actual expense of research and development. Instead, it is based on extracting the maximum amount of money a captive market will bear. In a standard market, if a product is overpriced, competitors enter the space with cheaper alternatives. So why don't generic manufacturers step in and undercut these markups? They are often blocked by Step 2, weaponizing the patent system. Companies build patent thickets, layering dozens of secondary patents over a single drug to extend their legal monopoly for decades after the original innovation. Look at the thicket built around Keytruda. Merck filed a total of 168 separate patents on this single drug. Crucially, 64% of those patents were filed after the medicine was already FDA approved, purely to delay generic competition. Once that monopoly is secured, we reach Step 3, channeling the resulting revenue away from the laboratory and directly to shareholders. This scale compares Johnson & Johnson's financial priorities in 2022. The company spent $17.8 billion enriching executives and paying out stock buybacks and dividends. During that same period, their total research and development budget was only $14.6 billion. The billions in profit extracted from patients do not automatically fund the next generation of breakthroughs. The system's core incentive structure rewards the enrichment of investors over the actual science of finding a cure. With such blatant financial extraction happening in plain sight, how does this model survive public outcry and political pressure? That dilute any legislation attempting to negotiate drug prices. The scale of this defense is massive. When new drug pricing programs were being shaped in Washington, just 17 pharma companies spent over $130 million on federal lobbying in a single year to protect their margins. To ensure maximum influence, they rely on a revolving door. Over 60% of these pharmaceutical lobbyists are former government officials, hired to leverage their relationships and influence their previous colleagues. This deeply entrenched lobbying infrastructure ensures that the rules of the market are written by the very corporations profiting from them. This playbook has a devastating cost beyond the pharmacy counter. It is actively degrading the quality of scientific progress. Because the financial model demands high returns, corporations systematically abandon research areas with low profit potential. We see major companies pull out of developing vital new antibiotics or cures for global epidemics, simply because those patients do not offer a lucrative revenue stream. Instead, resources shift to me-too drugs. These are slight variations of existing treatments that offer no added clinical benefit, but are distinct enough to secure fresh, profitable patents. Driven by a priority to ensure widespread access and disease eradication, rather than meeting quarterly earnings targets. The price of medicine is a deliberate political choice. Changing that system requires a return to a model where public science serves the common good, mirroring those moments in history when a cure was measured by how many people it saved.